All right, there is no shortage of famous quotes about buying real estate. Mark Twain said, buy land, they ain't making any more of it. And landlords grow rich in their sleep without working, risking, or economizing. John Stewart Mills said that. In this video, I'm going to be answering the question, is real estate a good investment in 2022? All right, guys, I've got several points to make. I'm going to be talking about when is the best time to invest, what are housing prices doing, what is rents doing, and is now a good time to invest or is it not? All right, guys, so we've all talked to the old timer that said, hey, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, right? Well, we weren't around 20 years ago, or we might not have been in that particular situation 20 years ago. But if you don't have 20 years ago, then do it now. It's the same thing in real estate. Imagine if your family would have purchased all the real estate in this town 20 years ago, or maybe bought that 20 acres or that 100 acres 20 years ago, because prices seemed a lot lower 20 years ago, right? Well, the prices were probably high 20 years ago, and they're also high now. Just face it, you're never gonna have just a discretionary income just sitting around to do it. You just got to pull the trigger. Buy it at a discount if possible, use other people's funds, finance it, whatever it takes. Is now a good time to invest in real estate? Yes, I say it's always a good time to invest in real estate. Warren Buffett says sell when everybody else is buying and buy when everyone else is selling. But here's the thing, if you don't have anything to sell, you need to start buying the stuff. And then the thing about real estate is if you sit and wait long enough and have someone else's money paying for that mortgage, a tenant's money is paying for that mortgage, guys, they will loan you the money to buy this stuff. I mean, what else can you get a loan to buy? Like, for instance, I'm looking to buy stocks. I want to invest in stocks. You think the bank is going to loan me money just to go out and buy stocks? No, I'm looking to buy a piece of real estate. I get the loan for the real estate. And oh, by the way, they'll also insure it. Like a company will insure it for me. And then the third best thing is somebody else will pay you rent to use it. So not only can you get the money to buy it via loan at very low interest rates right now because the interest rates are super low, but the market's really high. And I hear people saying, oh my God, I would hate to be buying a house right now because the market's so high. Well, hey, guys, when my parents bought their home in 1980 something, they were paying 14% interest. I just bought a Airbnb on a lake and I got 2.75% interest, and I'm renting that lake house out on short-term rental, and sometimes we'll make $4,000 or $5,000 in a month. And you know how much my mortgage is? Like maybe $1,500 a month. It's nuts. I'm cash flowing like crazy on this, and the interest rates are low. Yes, I bought it at retail value. I paid a little over $300,000 for this property on the lake, and used to be able to buy them for $150,000 10 years prior. But what's it going to be worth 10 years from now? Maybe $600,000? Who cares? Someone else is paying for it. And then I have an insurance company that if a hurricane comes by and levels the property, the insurance company is going to pay me to build a brand new one. Like, that's pretty cool. I got the money loaned to me. I got other people paying that mortgage every single month. And then I got an insurance company that's going to basically pay me to replace the house with a nicer one, a brand new one, if it burns down because one of these tenants leave the stove on and sit something on top of it and it catches on fire. And here's what's really cool too. I use this property as a tax write-off. I rent it out most of the year. I go and use it. We use it in July. We use it in December for Christmas and things like that. We go out on the lake and fish. My son catches bass all the time and speck, but he gets to enjoy it. But here's what's really cool is we get the tax write-off. I get to use this thing as depreciation. I get to do cost segregation where ultimately it allows me to pay less taxes each month. And now talk to your CPA about this, but there's a reason why Donald Trump pays way less in taxes than his assistant, is because Donald Trump owns real estate. So guys, I hope I drove the point home. The only bad time to buy real estate is next year. The best time to buy real estate is today. Start coming up with a plan, whether it be single family homes, mobile home parks, land, you name it, as I talk about land all the time. And if you have not already subscribed to this channel, you're missing out, just like you're missing out on the real estate investing boat. You must subscribe to this channel so you get notified. Turn that personalization to all. That way you're notified every time one of these come out. And then also, if you want to show me a little more love, just hit the like button as well, because the YouTube algorithms Really like that for some reason. All right, I want to talk about a little bit more about buying when everyone's selling and selling when everyone's buying. Eventually, you can get your business built on cycles because real estate works in cycles. Usually every 6 to 10 years, there's a downturn in real estate. It's really a reset. But if you look at like history, and I'll show you some graphs here, it eventually just kind of goes up. So if you could do this long enough, you can get in a cycle of buying, and then you might see a downturn. You might see a downturn, but who cares if you're renting it out and you're getting the bills paid every single month? Like for instance, the very beginning of our lake house, I wasn't able to start pulling money out of it. I really wasn't able to until that fund gets big enough to where we can pull a little bit out. But eventually it's going to go into a downturn. The property values will go low, but you know what I know? I look at history. I noticed that in 2009, that housing prices went down. But guess what started happening in 2013, 2014? Roughly not even 6 years later, they're back on the move. You can start buying, and if you hit that downturn, that's okay. Just buy more. It's called dollar cost averaging. And if you can wait that 6 years until it starts going up again, that's when you start selling it off and just putting huge returns in your pocket. But what are you going to do with that money? You need to learn about 1031 tax exchanges and invest in even bigger properties if you're looking to keep building the wealth. All right, according to globalpropertyguide.com, you're going to see that the property values are going up along with the rental values. So what's really crazy, if you look for like 2004 to 2008, you're going to see a huge spike in the red. That is housing sales. But what goes up really fast eventually comes down really fast. But if you notice, the purple is the median rent, and it's just like a steady trickle. You don't see any plummets. You don't see any skyrockets. The cool part about that, what that tells me, from 1988 to 2000, landlords are getting rich in their sleep. So you asked me, you come to this video saying, is now a good time to invest in real estate? Or is 2021 a good time to invest in real estate? If you notice, rents are always going up. The landlords are always getting rich in their sleep. You can always get loans. The interest rates go lower. They'll insure it. You can write it off in your taxes. And you got all these things working for you. You got appreciation over the years from 1988 to 2000. That's a very short lifetime. That's less than 30 years. But if you notice, it's always going up, even with that downturn. You got appreciation work for you. And then what else happens in 30 years? You eventually pay the mortgage off if you get a 30-year mortgage. So every single year, you've got mortgage pay down. And then one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is depreciation or cost segregation. So if you're a high income earner, you need to own real estate. And if you're looking for more opportunities to own real estate, I am always buying. I'm always bringing partners in. We're developing a 36-acre RV park right now. We're going to own a ton of real estate that we can depreciate and use cost segregation. So I'm no CPA, don't quote me on this, but if you're making $800,000 a year and you're paying $400,000 a year in taxes, I guarantee you, if you buy enough real estate, you can ultimately pay $0 in taxes. That is one hidden secret that most people don't talk about. So appreciation, depreciation, mortgage pay down, that all three of those combined is absolute long-term wealth. So if you're interested in hitting me up about figuring out how to develop 38-unit townhomes with us and buying the land for that and a 36-acre RV park and a 19-unit apartment complex, I've raised funds for all these things and we're always looking to build more. Hit me up on Instagram, Brent L. Bowers, or maybe comment on this channel. Talk to me. I'm always answering these questions as well. And make sure to like this video. All right, guys, I want to just make a few more points. Like healthcare is getting better and better every year. So people are living longer. Elderly people need places to live. So the housing demands are getting even higher. More babies are being born every day. In my short lifetime, the world has doubled. Just do some math there. There's going to be more and more housing needs. All right, so if you're looking for opportunities, if you're looking for a way to, maybe have financial freedom or time freedom or maybe even geography freedom, and you want to do like I did, I quit my job for good in 2018. I left it. I left the Army days behind me of being shackled, of being told where I got to be, what time I got to be, what to wear, and always being gone, always deployed, always training. And I turned it into a monthly crazy passive income coming from land, of all things, buying and selling land. Most people don't know how to buy and sell land. I buy land at crazy discounts and I turn around and seller finance this and build notes. I've got over 116 notes paying me every single month. That gives me the three freedoms I so enjoy: time freedom, financial freedom, and geography freedom. And if you notice, I say time first, the time for me to be able to choose what I want to do, when I want to do it, what I want to wear. And then financial freedom, obviously you got to have financial freedom to make those decisions, but the time freedom is so incredible because we're paid every single month, every time we do a land deal. And then geography freedom. We can do this from anywhere in the world. So you've already subscribed to this channel. If you're interested in hearing more about the Landsharks program with Wholesaling Inc., I am a Wholesaling Inc. coach. If you want to come into our tribe, head on over to wholesalinginc.com/land. wholesalinginc.com/land. If you want to hear more about what some of our students are doing, some of the success our students are having, go to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. We are the #1 real estate podcast, and we teach students how to get their first deal. That's the Wholesaling Inc. podcast.